Bless you, everyone. I would like to share a dream that I had about the rapture, and I'm gonna try to do it in Spanish as well. So basically, in the dream, I was in a car. I was sitting in the back seat with my mom and my brother, and there were two other passengers in the front. And we were going by this bridge in this town called Gurabo, or I guess it's pronounced Gurabo. And basically, I was looking out, and it was night. The night had fallen, and I looked up to the heavens, and I saw what it appeared to be a plane called the B-2 bomber. It's actually called the Spirit. And when I saw that, a couple of seconds later, I saw that there was a lightning that struck, and the sky turned purple. And immediately from that, we went up to the heavens. And while we were flying, going up, I had the opportunity to look down, and I saw that the passenger in the right front seat had stayed behind. And that really struck me in the dream, because I could see that person's face, and it had the look of like, wow, like I stayed behind. And when I was looking up, I could see a light, bright light, and I could tell it was the Lord. And next thing you know, we were in heaven. And there's just so much going on. And at one point, I asked the Lord, and we and other people, if we could see what was happening on earth. And the Lord took us to this area where he moved the clouds, and he allowed us to see what was going on. And there was just pure chaos. There were first responders, EMS, all kinds of vehicles, moving and trying to attend the chaos that was happening. And one curious thing was like when he took us to this area in heaven, he moved the clouds with his hand. And a lot of people have said that there's a place in heaven that you could see, earth. And I believe it's true, because I saw that in the dream. It's like a window that you could see earth. One thing that I noticed about being in heaven was like, God gives you the ability to magnify your vision. Right? So basically, the things that you can see from a far distance, he gave you the ability to see it much closer. And we could see earth as if we were much closer to it than we were actually were. We were in heaven, but we could see earth as we were maybe a few thousand feet or less from it. And after that, I saw a bunch of people like line up, and with burned clothes, and they were all in line standing. And I could understand that was the judgment of the white throne. Some people have had dreams about it. There's a guy around the web that had a dream about it, and he actually hears God's voice telling people, depart from me, and how they fall, into this pit. You can look it up online. And there's different dreams. I had a friend who had a dream that he told me he was like in a cave, and it was dark, and he would see angels come down to the cave and point at people, like you there, come up, and he will take them up. And he told me how he would try to hide from the angel, but it eventually caught up to him. And he told me that he'd understood that his soul was lost, and it was time for him to give accountability to God for what he had said and done on earth while he was alive. So I think that's very powerful and interesting. There are other aspects about the dream that right now don't come to my mind, but I wanted to share it because I do believe that the rapture is near. Three things, or a couple more things that I want to point out about the beginning of the dream was like how the B-2 bomber had appeared. And I think the B-2 bomber, in some aspects, to some people, is a marvel of technology because of its capabilities and its endurance, and also how it's used for strategic missions and to show power projections, and still to this day ahead of pretty much any aircraft in its category. And it's also interesting how it's called the Spirit. I think that's very important, because if you search what spirit means and what it is, what it does, it's connected to the mind, right? It basically builds the mental infrastructure of the person, right? So I think that's very interesting. Also, the lightning strike, people that worship the enemy have, a lot of them have a lightning as a symbol. And that comes from Revelation chapter 12, when the enemy, right, was cast out from heavens, and it was thrown to earth. And some people have come to the conclusion that that's why in the beginning, Genesis chapter 1, the earth was empty and somewhat destroyed, right? So I think the lightning in that dream represented the judgment, because it's also, lightning represents judgment as well, and it brightens up, right? When the lightning strikes, it brightens up the area where it appears, right? And it's also fast, right? So I think those are curious aspects of the dream, and the purple, the sky turning purple. You may know it deals with royalty, and I believe that in the dream what he meant was like, this new government is about to arise, and I think all these things are connected. I want to say it in Spanish so that people that do not understand English can understand, or speak Spanish can understand.